All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. 3-4 last night, not our best night. That Blazers half-point loss will haunt me, but we're on to bigger and better things. We have Saturday's slate here, November 6th. We have 6 games to get into, and I already have some player props that I absolutely love. So I know we usually wait till the pinned comment to give the final player props and whatnot, but I really like a couple of these, so I'm going to say them in the video as well. But speaking of that pinned comment, make sure you guys are staying up to date with that pinned comment. I love the comments that are like, dude, it sounds like you're not giving final picks in your videos. Yet I start every video saying my final picks will be written out into the pinned comment. Like, I'm telling you my gut reaction, my initial thoughts on these games within the video, and obviously there's going to be some that I'm like, yeah, I'm playing that tonight, so you know that that's final. But these are sort of me working out the games, explaining my thought process to you guys, and then word for word I spell out what I'm actually taking in the pinned comment. So I don't know what some people's problems are, but it is what it is. So yeah, keep an eye on that pinned comment. That's going to be the final ticket, so you know exactly what I'm riding with tonight. And if you want to ride with me, let's ride. Let's jump right into it here. It's November 6th, Saturday. We got 6 games on the slate. And I'll say it right away, we're not forcing anything today. You know, there's a couple matchups that I really like, but we're not forcing anything today. So let's jump into it. Rockets at Nuggets. The Nuggets are 11.5-point favorites. Now, I will say the Rockets, you know, I feel like you've been able to bet against them recently, unless you're LA. I feel like they cover against LA all the time. That's just in my brain. But Denver's got to be a hungry team. They lost 2 in a row to Memphis, and you know, both fairly tight games, less than double digits. So Denver's going to come out pretty hungry. I feel like they can win this game and blow out Houston. But I'm sticking away from that 11.5-point total there. That's just too much. You guys know me. Even if I love the matchup, it takes a lot to get me to lay double-digit points on teams. So this one I do see Denver being able to cover that spread, but I'm not touching it. The under is probably where I would lean here, but I think overall this game is going to be a stay-away game for me unless I start to look into more and more and say, you know what? I'm starting to like that under a little bit more. So I'm probably, odds are, going to be staying away from this game. I think we do have a player prop involved in this game, so we'll tell you that at the end of the video. But yeah, moving on to the next game, we have one of the best games of the night here. Jazz, Heat. The Heat are 2.5-point favorites at home, and it looks like everyone is all over the Heat. Now, Donovan Mitchell on the Jazz side of things looks like he is questionable. Kyle Lowry is also questionable. I don't know, man. I think that this Jazz team, you know, they are firing. The Heat are coming off a loss, and now they're at home, so that's probably why people are thinking Heat and everyone's all over Heat here. But the fact that, you know, you can get the Jazz as who may be a better team than Heat when it's all said and done, you can get them as underdogs here. I like that. I see this game probably coming down to, you know, 1 or 2 points type of thing. So I really do like the Jazz in this one. I don't know if I'm going to put it on the ticket just with that question mark of Donovan Mitchell right now. So we shall see, but I'm leaning Jazz right away here. And then also, I know the NBA is different this year. Like, you see numbers and you're like, oh, we got to pull the trigger on that over. But the NBA is hitting unders left and right this season. But at a total at 2 at 11.5, I do think that the Jazz and Heat can smash that over. But you know what? I might be sticking away from overs until we start to figure out, you know, we get another couple weeks into the season, start to figure out truly the average pace, I guess, of the NBA, because unders have been hitting left and right with all the rule changes and whatnot. So this is probably a no-go for me, but I definitely lean Jazz, and I think that I'm in the minority here, but I don't know. You know, with Kyle Lowry, if he's questionable, Donovan Mitchell, he's questionable, it's really hard to get a true sense on this game. Moving on to a game that I do really like, we have Boston taking on the Mavericks. Now, I will say, and you guys should know if you're watching these every day, I'm a Celtics fan, diehard Celtics fan. So if I'm giving you a Celtics pick like I'm gonna right now, take it with a grain of salt, but let me try and at least explain why I do think that this is the move here. I think that Celtics finally are starting to hit the stride. They're getting 4.5 points here. I really like that. You could probably even get them. You know, that line might be moving up, and being completely honest, but I think they opened up at 5-point favorites. That's what I got them in. I have Celtics +5 because I jumped on it very early. I think the line's moving in the opposite direction in favor of the Mavs there. But I think the Celtics team may, in fact, just be starting to turn a corner and starting to put it all together, right? And now they're going to be less Jaylen Brown. They're going to be questionable here with Josh Richardson, who has actually been a key defender for this team. But the Mavs, like I've said it over and over again, I don't know if you truly can trust the Mavs. They might win games, but they're letting teams worse than them cover. Porzingis is questionable. Kleber's out. I think that this is looking like a game where maybe the Mavs can win this game. Sure. They might be the better team right now. just because of how poorly the Celtics started, but this Mavs team against the spread is terrible. And the Celtics, funnily enough, haven't been a good team, but they're 4-2 against the spread this year when they are the away team. And the Mavs are the opposite here. They're 1-3 when they're at home. So this is kind of lining up to hey, the Celtics are going to get up for a big game because it could be a turning point here, whereas the Mavs are expecting a bad Boston team to roll in. And again, big loss with Jaylen Brown. Questionable big loss with Josh Richardson if he doesn't go, but Jason Tatum hasn't played well yet. The Celtics seem to always compete with the Mavericks, and I wouldn't be taking the Celtics if they were -5 here, but the fact that I get them at +5, I expect this game to be kept within, 2 to 4 points down the stretch. So I'm rolling with the Celtics here. I think that, they are the underrated team in this matchup, and we're going with the underdog here. So that's already locked in. That is one that's on the final ticket, but I already told you guys, huge Celtics fan. You want to take that advice? Take that advice. If I did enough to convince you, the against the spread records and why Boston's probably undervalued right now, then fine. But if you're thinking, oh, that's just a Celtics fan blowing smoke up our ass, then don't touch this game. But I do like the Celtics here. Bias, unbiased, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. Next game, I do have a play on this one for you guys. Suns hosting the Hawks. The Suns are 5-point favorites. It's interesting. The Hawks look like everyone's going to be good to go. I do think they have actually one questionable, but it may be moved to, John Collins is questionable, but I feel like we've seen that over and over again in the past few days, so I expect him to play. I got this one early at Suns -5, or -4.5. I still like Suns -5. I think that this Atlanta Hawks team, you look at and say, oh, wow, they were a really good team last year. They've beat a couple good teams this year. They've competed with good teams even when they've lost. But this is a tale of two different teams here. The Hawks away this year are 0-5 against the spread. At home, they're 3-1. Even aside with the spread, right? Just record at home, they're 3-1. Away, they're 1-4. This is a team that does not play the same way on the road, and that's just it's just a fact at this point. So I'm gonna ride that wave until it crashes in my face. So I am going with the Suns here. I do think that these teams can kind of match up pretty well against each other. I will admit that, but I'm gonna go with the Suns team here. That seem like they've turned a corner. They started pretty slow, and they seem like they've turned a corner. Now they beat up on 3 bad teams. This is gonna be their hardest competition in a while. But I'm going to go with the home team strictly because I do think they've turned a corner, and also Atlanta has been god-awful against the spread away this year, and honestly just god-awful away this year. They're not the same team as they are when they play at home. All right, last game of the night, Blazers hosting the Lakers. Blazers are 5.5-point favorites. The total's 222. I would never touch that total. Like the way that NBA games are going lately, I'm not touching that one. And we got burned by the Blazers last night. They completed the comeback only to win by 4 points, and we needed that half point to cash and to have a positive night. So that's a little unfortunate. It probably puts me off of the Blazers tonight. Like, I'm definitely not taking them. But this Lakers team is super, super inconsistent. And, LeBron's out. Anthony Davis is probable, but he got injured last game. Like, I don't even know what to make of this game. So sadly, I would say I would lean Blazers here, but I'm not going to touch this one. I just don't see it being, a hook, line, and sinker sort of, Blazers all day long. And I definitely wouldn't say that about the Lakers. So if you guys have a play on this game, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. But this seems like it could be the most up in the air game today for sure. Actually, this isn't the last one. I think we skipped. Did we skip? Probably I have it as the last one here. Game of the night here, I guess I should say. So that is my fault. We skipped over the Sixers at Bulls, but the Bulls are 3.5-point favorites. They're hosting the Sixers here. The total is 214.5. Last time these two teams played, just a couple days ago, right? November 3rd. Philly beat the Bulls by 5. But I like the Bulls here. I think that there's a lot of question marks here. So obviously you have Korkmaz. He's questionable. Tobias Harris is out. Danny Green's questionable. Tybals out. Like, there's a lot of question marks and outs on the Philly side of things, and nothing new on the Chicago side of things for injuries. So I would lean Chicago here. I don't love the fact that they have to cover by more than 3. So if you are going to take Chicago, maybe buy him down to 2.5 or buy him down to 3 at least. But I do like Chicago in this spot, being the home team, being sort of a revenge game here. But this is going to be one that I'm probably going to be watching. And I know I say this all the time, guys, but I'm probably going to be watching as a fan, being like, all right, let's just watch good basketball here. But I'll let you guys know in that pinned comment, obviously, with an update if I do end up pulling Chicago. It is going to be the Chicago Bulls or nothing for me, though. I don't think I'm going to go Sixers with all those injuries. Like, I know Embiid's a beast, but I would rather a full, healthy team that is a very good against the spread team than relying on one superstar there. But let's move on to our player props of the night. We got a couple here. And I will say, you know, we've been red hot with these over under 3-point makes this year. So I love doing these. You know, I have sort of a strategy that I'm following, and we've been firing on all cylinders getting these done. So let's jump into these. I'll give you the first one we have here is Jalen Green in that Houston game. Jalen Green over 1.5 threes. The guy's been chucking threes. I mean, that's what I'm kind of looking for. I want to see the volume. I'm not necessarily looking for your percentage here because 1.5 is not that many to make. You have to make 2 threes. And think about it. If a guy can make 1 3 in the first quarter, you now have 3.5 quarters to go out there and hit 1 more 3. So I'm looking for volume when I look at these plays. And Jalen Green is for sure a guy that I see a lot of volume coming out of in shooting. So his last few games here, he has 7, 10, 4, 8, 9, 10. Those are his 3-point attempts, okay? And there has been nights where he goes 0 of 8 from 3. That's going to suck if he does that tonight, but I am looking for opportunity and value and volume there. So Jalen Green over 1.5 threes, and you can get pretty good odds there too. I got that in this morning. Next one up, we have Jay Crowder in that Suns game. I have him over 1.5 threes as well, and that's a very similar strategy that I'm following there. We have a guy that shoots a decent amount of volume. So in his last 3 games, he has 3, 5, and 5. You can go back further than that. It's 7, 4, 6, 5, 5, 5, 7. Like, the guy's shooting a lot of threes. Yes, some nights he's only making 1. That's why the line is 1.5. But I'm going to be rolling with Jay Crowder over 1.5 threes tonight in a game where I feel like the pace could get picked up at times, and he's going to be the forgotten about sort of shooter on the floor for this Hawks team as they're scrambling on defense. So Jay Crowder over 1.5 threes. And then last player prop is Dennis Schroeder of my Boston Celtics over 4.5 assists. I mean, he's already averaging, you know, just over an assist and a half more than that. And in a game where I feel like, you know, you would think Jaylen Brown's out, so there's one score he can't pass to now. I have a feeling that with Jaylen Brown out, it only means Dennis Schroeder's going to be more involved. He's probably going to get the start. He's going to have the ball in his hands now, leading to the chance for more assists. So I'm rolling with 4.5 assists for Dennis Schroeder. So that's going to be my plays today, guys. Hopefully you guys are riding. We are red hot. That was our first real true losing night last night, and we only, you know, were 3 and 4 in a while. We did have a rough week, you know, a week and a half ago, but we are back, and we're killing these player props. So hopefully you guys are appreciating that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. Let me know in the comments down below your picks tonight, and if you're riding with these. And yeah, we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.